Galactic generals doubted Earth's soldiers, until one human cleared the battlefield alone. The War Council chamber aboard the Nexus Prime hummed with tension as holographic displays showed the grim reality of Kepler 442b's surface. General Vexathera's forearms gestured dismissively at the tactical projection, her chitinous exoskeleton clicking with irritation. "The Terrans are untested," she declared, her translated voice carrying the authority of 1,000 campaigns. "Their primitive weapons and crude tactics have no place in a coordinated assault against the Zephyrian stronghold." Admiral Korvash, his blue-scaled head nodding in agreement, added his own assessment. "The humans lack the sophisticated neural networks of the Altarians, the regenerative capabilities of the Helix Consortium, or even basic energy shielding. They're a liability." Colonel Sarah Chen sat quietly at the far end of the council table, her plain olive-green uniform a stark contrast to the elaborate ceremonial armor worn by the other commanders. The weight of their skepticism pressed against her like a physical force, but she maintained her composure. Around the table sat representatives of 12 different species, each commanding fleets that numbered in the thousands, each looking at Earth's modest contribution of 200 soldiers with barely concealed disdain. "The Zephyrian position is impregnable," General Thess hissed through his serpentine vocal cords. "Our combined forces have failed 3 times to breach their defenses. What could these humans possibly contribute?" Chen finally spoke, her voice calm and measured. "Permission to deploy a single reconnaissance unit, sir. Let us gather intelligence while your forces prepare for the main assault." The alien commanders exchanged glances that clearly communicated their thoughts. Let the humans waste themselves on a futile scouting mission. General Vexathera waved a dismissive claw. "Approved. Try not to compromise our element of surprise with your enthusiasm." 3 hours later, Private Marcus Torres crouched in the sulphurous mists of Kepler 442b's twilight zone, his standard-issue rifle feeling almost primitive compared to the plasma cannons and quantum disruptors he'd seen, the other species wielding. The Zephyrian stronghold loomed before him, a crystalline fortress that stretched 2 kilometers into the alien sky, its surface crawling with defensive turrets and energy barriers. Torres activated his comm unit. "Command, this is Ghost 7. I'm in position. The intel was wrong about the perimeter defenses. They've got at least triple the firepower we expected." Colonel Chen's voice crackled back through the interference. "Can you find a way through, Torres?" "Negative on conventional approach, ma'am." "But..." Torres studied the fortress through his scope, his mind working through possibilities that his alien allies would never consider. "I might have an idea. It's going to get loud. Ghost 7, you are not authorized for engagement. This is reconnaissance only." Torres was already moving. "With respect, Colonel, sometimes reconnaissance requires a more hands-on approach. What happened next would be debated in military academies across the galaxy for generations." Torres didn't try to match the Zephyrians' advanced technology or overwhelming firepower. Instead, he did something that no other species in the Galactic Alliance would have considered. He got creative. Using his combat knife, he began systematically sabotaging the fortress's external cooling systems, not the main power grid that the aliens had focused their attacks on, but the simple heat exchangers that prevented the massive structure from cooking itself with its own energy output. It was a target so basic, so mundane, that the Zephyrians had barely bothered to guard it. As the fortress's internal temperature began to spike, automated systems started shutting down non-essential functions to prevent catastrophic overheating. Defense grids flickered offline in rotating patterns. Energy barriers destabilized. Torres moved like a ghost through the chaos, his human adaptability allowing him to navigate the increasingly unpredictable defense network. But the real stroke of genius came when he reached the fortress's central spire. Instead of trying to fight his way through heavily defended corridors, Torres did something that would have been impossible for most other species. He climbed. Hand over hand, using rappelling equipment and techniques developed in Earth's mountains and urban environments, he scaled the exterior of the crystalline structure. finding handholds where his alien allies would see only smooth, unclimbable surfaces. The Zephyrian command center wasn't designed to defend against someone dropping through the ceiling. Torres landed in the middle of their strategic planning session like an avenging angel, his rifle already tracking targets. The engagement lasted less than 30 seconds. From orbit, the alien commanders watched in stunned silence as the fortress's massive guns turned on each other, controlled now by a single human operating the captured command center. Torres had done more than reconnaissance. He'd turned the Zephyrians' greatest weapon into a self-destruct sequence. Impossible, whispered Admiral Corvash, his sophisticated sensors confirming what his tactical mind refused to accept. General. Vexathara's forearms moved in a gesture of respect rarely seen from her species. The fortress is completely neutralized, one human, one soldier. Colonel Chen allowed herself a small smile as Torres's voice came over the comm. Ghost 7 to command. Target eliminated. The landing zone is clear for the main force. General. This leaned forward, his earlier dismissiveness replaced by genuine curiosity. Colonel Chen, how is this possible? Your soldier had none of the advantages of our other troops. Chen stood, her simple uniform somehow commanding more respect now than all the ceremonial armor in the room. That's exactly why it worked, General. You all thought like generals, like commanders with sophisticated technology and overwhelming force. Marcus Torres thought like a human. He saw problems where you saw impossibilities, and solutions where you saw dead ends. She gestured to the tactical display, now showing green across the entire landing zone. Humans don't have your energy shields or neural networks or regenerative abilities. What we have is something that apparently can't be replicated or understood by advanced civilizations. The ability to look at an impossible situation and find a way to make it possible. Admiral Corvash's head tilted in the Altarian gesture of acknowledgement. Perhaps we have underestimated the strategic value of primitive adaptability. Not primitive, Chen corrected gently. Different. And sometimes, different is exactly what wins wars. As the combined fleet moved to secure the planet, Marcus Torres was already moving to his next objective. Just another human soldier doing what humans had always done best. Finding a way when there wasn't supposed to be one. The galaxy's most sophisticated military minds had learned a valuable lesson that day. Sometimes the most advanced technology couldn't replace the simple, terrifying effectiveness of human ingenuity and the refusal to accept that something couldn't be done. And in the war councils that followed, when alien generals planned their strategies around energy barriers and quantum calculations, they always made sure to ask one crucial question. What would the humans do?